I testify to praise the name of my Heavenly Father. A long time ago, when I came to the church, I did not understand about the tithe. I would get bothered when they would mention things about the tithe. I felt rejection towards it. In a prophecy, the Lord told me that little by little He was going to be teaching me regarding this. But I kept insisting that I did not feel as if I needed to give my money to the Lord. I kept rejecting it. I had a job where the money that I received was not enough. I could not buy anything, but I would see that the people that I worked with that had money, and I would say, why is that if I get paid the same as they do? One day I decided to tithe. I'm going to tithe. I'm going to tithe to the Lord. From that moment that I started to tithe, the money was now enough for the things that I wanted. And oftentimes I had extra money, and everything that I wanted, I would receive. And I understood that it was the Lord who gives the things. I testify to praise the name of my Heavenly Father.
A long time ago, when I moved by the promise of God to this country, Canada, my dream was to learn the English language and be able to speak it and understand it. But it was difficult for me, and at times it depressed me a lot. However, the Lord would comfort me in prophecy and tell me that I shouldn't worry because He would be giving me the ability to understand and speak it. The Lord also told me to search and read the Bible in detail in English and ask Him any questions I had, and that He would be responding to those questions during the Bible studies, teachings, and He would surprise me in the manner in which He would respond. And brothers and sisters, I obeyed the Lord and began reading the Bible in English. One day, I was reading and searching the Bible while I was on the bus. I started asking God questions in my mind, questions about the chapter I was reading. I had my headphones on because I was listening to Sister Maria Luisa's choruses while I read. Suddenly, Sister Maria Luisa began to teach and explain the chapter I was reading. And she was responding to the same questions I had just asked the Lord in that moment. I was so surprised, brothers and sisters. I did not know or understand what was happening. And the strangest thing is that I was listening to the choruses on an audio streaming service that did not have a premium account, which meant I could not skip ahead or go back. However, I was able to go back and skip ahead when I was listening to the sister's audio as if it were a podcast. And that's how the Lord surprised me. Because this was a miracle. Because some days later, when I tried listening to the same audio, I was not able to find it. And today, I testify on how the Lord taught me and gave me the understanding of His word, not just in Spanish, but in English too. The Lord also helped me so much, and I now see how I'm able to communicate in this new language without difficulties. At school, my classmates and teachers are surprised at how quickly I learned English, and this has allowed me to speak to many about God and His church here in Canada. Brothers and sisters, I also want to testify that in my school, there was a group of girls who bullied me. They would make me cry and picked on me all the time. They would give me dirty looks and speak ill of me, so I was in constant distress and tribulation. There was one day in particular that was very difficult, and I prayed to God, and I asked Him with all of my heart that I wanted to transfer schools because I was suffering a lot. The following day, the Lord answered my prayer in prophecy and said that He was going to be granting me the desires of my heart and that He would allow me to change schools and I would no longer suffer. He said that these girls were jealous of me, but that He would distance them from me and place me on high. And this came to pass, brothers and sisters, because a few days later, I received an email where I was given the option to transfer to a school closer to home. And I understood that this was God's blessing and accepted. Brothers and sisters, to my surprise, when I arrived at this school, I found out that it was really big and beautiful, completely remodeled, and has all the things that I've always wanted. A school like in the movies I used to watch when I was a little girl. Additionally, many people wanted to transfer to this school, but can't because the waiting list is very long. But God performed a miracle with me because it was very easy for me to transfer. And I want to testify this and to give the glory and honor to our Heavenly Father.